Welcome back. The aim today is to explore the impact of online WHMIS training on reducing safety breaches. Here's the question we'll handle today. How does online WHMIS training reduce safety violations in Canada? Online WHMIS training offers businesses an efficient and adaptable method to boost adherence, enhance understanding of hazards, and decrease accidents in daily work. This also conforms to legal and operational standards as workers aware of hazardous substances, exposure hazards, labeling, SDSs, and required Canadian safety measures are substantially less likely to commit mistakes leading to breaches. Let's look at what online WHMIS training means and why it matters. Online WHMIS training delivers hazard communication education through a digital format, which helps workers learn consistently and efficiently. It teaches workers how to understand labels, safety data sheets, and safe handling requirements for hazardous products. In practical terms, it helps confirm whether workers recognize hazards and know the right controls. That matters because poor understanding leads to unsafe product use, more incidents, and compliance gaps. Let's look at 6 practical ways online WHMIS training can help reduce safety violations in the workplace. First, make WHMIS training consistent across all workers. When instruction changes from person to person, knowledge gaps develop, and those gaps often lead to unsafe chemical handling, missed precautions, and compliance problems. Consistency matters because every worker needs the same core understanding of hazards, controls, and expectations. Second, connect WHMIS training directly to actual job tasks. Workers need to understand more than the theory. They need to know how hazardous products, labels, safety data sheets, and required controls apply to the work they do every day. When training reflects real job conditions, decision-making improves and violations are less likely. Third, make sure workers can demonstrate understanding of labels and safety data sheets. It is not enough for someone to say they completed the training. They need to show that they can recognize hazard information, find the right protective measures, and apply that information before work begins. That is what helps prevent mistakes, exposures, and unsafe shortcuts. Fourth, track and document all WHMIS training completion. Good records are essential because undocumented training creates risk during inspections, audits, and incident reviews. If an employer cannot show who was trained, when they were trained, and what they were trained on, compliance becomes much harder to defend. Fifth, schedule regular refresher training. Hazardous products, work processes, and workplace conditions change over time, which means training cannot remain static. Without refreshers, workers may rely on outdated assumptions, and that increases the chance of unsafe practices and repeated violations. And sixth, reinforce WHMIS training through supervision and inspections. Training on its own is not enough. Supervisors need to observe work, correct unsafe behaviors, and confirm that workers are applying what they learned. That follow-up is what turns training into consistent workplace practice. For practical support with WHMIS training online and hazardous product compliance, visit calgarysafetyconsultants.ca and reach out. We help employers strengthen safety systems, improve training consistency, and reduce the gaps that often lead to safety violations, chemical incidents, and weak day-to-day hazard awareness. By supporting WHMIS training, hazard assessment alignment, supervision, documentation, core readiness, and overall system implementation, we help make hazardous materials training more practical, consistent, and effective in real workplace conditions.